Paraphrase.
Good evening. It's show 104 of Transformers. On tonight's show, we've got loads coming up, but first of all, the intro.
I live my life walking down the street, meet the faces of the people I see. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to be alone. All the time I see a reflection. All the time I see a reflection. 'Cause when I'm with you, it seems so easy. Seems so easy. My best days are with you. They are so easy. They are so easy.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to tonight's show. On tonight's show, we're doing Fourplay on Blurr. So we've all got a Blurr we're going to pick and go through. We've got a discussion, which is all about IDW. Is that right, Jamie?
Yes, kind of.
Awesome.
I think
something to do with IDW.
I think there was. Does Transformers have too many characters? Does it
okay.
stifle it?
Cool. Rohan's got the upcoming review of Mech Fanstoys, Prowl. Lexus has got some stuff, and we're going to have another discussion and find out who's fingered the most girls. Right, on for the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Andy.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, I really hope kids don't watch this. Okay.
Anyone with
Anyone, any
for
people,
life.
any civilized people,
Anyone who
not
actually
like our
employs
friends in the
me.
chat, you know. Anyway, let's get on mainline news because this took about 3 hours last week. So we've got
It's
the
Chucky.
leak of Chucky, aka Spike. It is Spike, isn't it? Rather than Daniel, and he's going to be a deluxe size Transformer, or is he core size? I think, and he
Titan
transforms
class.
into
Core size.
whatever that is, which I think is supposed to
That's
represent the vehicle mode
vehicle.
from the movie.
A vehicle.
A
that moves.
vehicle, there he is, an exosuit Spike.
He looks
with
different there, though, doesn't he? Less reddish.
less like Chucky, yeah, and yeah, you know, it's something you can get. Then
Which is fucking awesome. I think everyone loves that because everyone was trying to get the MP versions, weren't they, with Bumblebee.
Yeah.
So you have to get Pish Bumblebee just so you could get that MP figure.
No, that's the
Bumblebee.
best Bumblebee ever.
Okay, whatever you say. Then we had this, which isn't really news, but it was news in 2017, and it is kind of cool that Titans Return.
just found out about it, Andy.
LG Triptychon has another secret mode that was in the comic book that came with LG Triptychon, and you can create it like so, if you wish, with your Triptychon.
It's quite cool, though.
Alexis hadn't seen this, so it's news. It's now new news for 2022.
We won World War
5
II,
years
Alexis.
later. Oh dear! Just don't,
No
don't bring
one
up the
wins
Gulf War.
wars, Jamie.
Yeah,
We all
there's
do.
no winners in war except the people who win. Anyway,
Which was
moving
us.
on. Oh, the horror! I don't understand what the why there's the stickers on these pictures.
I
But
think
anyway,
they put it the wrong size. They wanted to cover the whole figure.
yeah, probably. Oh my god, how long his legs and how short do its arms look?
Got
by
big feet,
comparison.
haven't they?
This is Masterpiece Cliff Jumper anyway, with more leaked comparison photos. Is that Masterpiece Bumblebee, Alexis?
That is version 2 Bumblebee. I wouldn't say it's masterpiece, but it's version 2.
No, I wouldn't say that either. But I wouldn't say it about either of them because they both
No.
look terrible. I'm
They're
sorry,
all
but
modes.
I just...
Their all modes are good. Their all modes are good. That's about it.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I think
And
this
there's
is,
I
the
the,
do alt mode, I suppose.
This is
I
a picture
think-
of their alt modes.
this is the death of Masterpiece, isn't it?
This is just, I don't know. Even I'm not a Masterpiece collector, but you kind of expect a certain level from Masterpiece. And I just look at this and I think,
I think the Chug
not a chance. Not a
Chug
chance.
versions are better.
Yeah. Oh, we're not supposed to call it that anymore, are we?
But,
What was
but
the
we had a
forfeit
poll.
for that?
We had a poll on Twitter, and
Did
we
we?
decided, yeah. And Chug
Was it one
won.
that only you could enter?
Yeah.
Anyway,
There was
there's the
like one
figure
vote.
uploads.
The royal we.
It was 100% vote for Chug. Oh dear. Yeah,
That
I
looks
just
like a
thought
sack of crap.
it really does. I mean, like you
Oh,
said, the
yeah.
alt modes, they look nice. I'll give you that. But I still, no. Anyway,
If they do a KO version, I'll buy the KO. If anyone's selling the KO Bumblebee version, let me know.
all right. Crumzik Reviews got hold of the Legacy Buzzsaw figure and has done a video, I'm assuming. And these are some of the stills from it. So for those people who are interested in this figure, he's Beast Wars, isn't he? Oh, the Beast Wars knowledge coming out immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I
Paul,
remember his
you're an
spotlight
expert on
episode.
Beast Wars.
It
Fill
was
us
in,
on the
I think it was in
story.
Beast Wars 4, if I remember.
I remember
the
his
fourth one.
spotlight
Beast Wars
episode.
4. That was
so memorable.
the great one. Anyway,
Dino
he's there.
Riders.
He's obviously a remold and repaint of Waspinator. I know that you, Jamie, have Waspinator. What do you think of that version of Waspinator?
Oh, I think Waspinator is fantastic. I also like that. I don't know if it's accidental, but you can split Waspinator's body in half, which is also quite cool. I think it's an excellent mold.
Oh, there you go. So you'd imagine this one will probably be about the same, but obviously different colours and a different head sculpt. I think it looks all right. I quite like the colours. They definitely have that kind of like 90s feel to it. And then, like I said, a couple of comparison photos. And there he is. It's hard to see really how good that face sculpt is because
I just don't know the character, but so
no,
he's just not iconic.
which is surprising because we are Beast Wars aficionados, and you would think we'd know. But anyway,
Was
crazy.
it Buzzsaw the hack? Oh, that's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Buzzsaw.
It's easy to get them muddled up.
Was it a wrestler?
They look
This
so
guy?
similar.
He's a
Oh.
wrestler. That's what he was. This guy was a
Let
wrestler.
me get my
wasn't
2x4.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan was, yeah.
he? No, this guy. This was a Beast Wars crossover with WWF, wasn't it? Back in the day.
Yeah.
Anybody know? Is Alexis correct? Is this some form of Beast Wars crossover? I say no.
I say he's lying.
And then we had the latest photo of, I think, is it called Getsuai? The Masterpiece Raiden, one of the Masterpiece Raiden train bots, which is leaked somehow. And yeah, I don't
Thanks,
know. I
Benjamin.
mean,
Looks better than the first one. It's weird how the leg has kibble.
we can't see the back yet, though, can we? Because the thing with the first one, it was the kibble for you, wasn't it? You were saying about how that third-party one was much cleaner, and this one's kind of, or this version seemed to be a bit more
It's
kibble-tastic.
weird, but the leg has kibble here. So it's weird.
Oh,
right?
down there.
No, the actual leg mode.
Oh, the leg mode, sorry.
The leg mode has
When
kibble.
you said the leg, I kind of just assumed you meant his leg. The leg mode has kibble. Well, they've got to put it somewhere, haven't they? There you go.
No.
Anyway, that's coming
Was
soon.
this a decline of Masterpiece again? More
I know.
disappointment.
This
Long
is
live
masterpiece. This is just expensive chug.
Then we had the news that Hasbro have named Chris Cox as Chief Executive Officer. That's Chris Cox.
He's
in the Legacy.
younger brother to Richard.
Anyway, in the Legacy line, we've had the packaging shots of the deluxe figures from Wave 1. So you've got Drag Strip there. And,
You know what?
Primarcy
I've still
skids
not
and-
recovered from it. Intro there. I mean, I'm trying my best to keep Twitter nice and clean.
And-
dead.
Unbelievable, taking us
There we
down
go.
in one shot.
Do you think that
Some people
Chug
would want to see
spent-
the world burn.
do you think that
madman.
mainline, that's what it's called, spend
Mainline.
so much all the money on the packaging that they have no money for the actual to make the figures decent?
No,
Well, I
because
mean, they look
Cardboard's
better
quite
than
cheap.
most of the
It looks-
Masterpiece releases
looks
recently,
like
so
it.
no.
No, we have shit-
Alexis, don't worry, it's not. Don't you worry, son. It's okay.
Sure, it does.
You
Look
keep,
like
I mean,
that.
to be fair, you keep buying all the mainline bots as well, Alexis. So I mean,
do
I
not.
think there's some secret love there going on.
And I've got to say, Sharpnel there looks. Is it Sharpnel? Because
Kickback.
Kickback, it looks fantastic, and
Yeah, it does.
RC looks fantastic as
That's
well.
it. Bottom right
Yeah.
there.
Cool,
Anyway,
cool,
let's
cool.
move along. And this is Night Prowler. And the photos we had the other week, you couldn't really see his head sculpt because of the weapon being in the way in the photo.
I'm just glad the eyes are painted because when they put the eyeballs on, it's
Yeah,
just
isn't that the
ridiculous.
Cheetor head sculpt?
Yeah.
Rather. And
Yeah.
they've just, I think it looks all right. Yeah. And so there you go. And that was basically the mainline news this week. Not the busiest news week. So now we'll go on to
The crap stuff.
the lower quality stuff in third party.
Don't
Legends.
start the
don't-
war. Don't start the
don't-
fire.
Don't start.
We-
People
saying-
watching has just
Start
jumped
the
up. 'Cause it's on third
Oh
party.
my god!
Right. Anyway, here we go.
And don't bring
So-
Billy Joel into this. That's Satan of a man.
Satan. Oh my God, against Billy Joel.
I love
No,
Billy.
I haven't. I haven't. Exactly. Don't you start? Don't. Bring
Yeah,
Billy
don't you
Joel
start
down
on
to your
Billy.
level. Yeah.
What?
Billy's third party.
Billy loves
Yeah,
the
he
Chug.
is.
Anyway,
Yeah. No, Gary
what?
Glitter loves Chug.
go on.
Exactly.
Don't. Come on. Don't do that, Paul. How much have you had to drink tonight?
I've one drink.
Don't go full Alexis. Don't
That
go
one
full
sip
Alexis.
was enough.
He's in one drink.
Anyway,
Oh,
go on.
misogynist.
You're-
One sip.
Paul,
no.
you shared this. So you go on. You explain it.
So this, I think it might be called Wolf Jerry and Half Dan.
I don't
So-
know where you got that from.
They used to do Full Dan, but this is the Half Dan one. And oh, look at that. It does look good. Loads of accessories. Love accessories. A transformer that turns into a wolf. Right, you've got my attention. And it comes with like a fake Warhammer figure.
And a car.
And a car. It
I
transforms
mean, it's
into
not
a
a
car as
transformer,
well.
but yeah, it's a robot that
Yeah.
converts.
Yeah, a robot that
Which one's
transforms.
Wolf Jerry and which one's Half Dan?
That's Half Dan. You've got
Okay.
Full Derek in a minute.
Full Derek.
It's alt
Don't go
mode.
full Derek.
He's trying
And
to fist
Mega
someone.
Clive. Hey, Jamie's joining in with the rudeness. Stroking his dog. But yeah, I just really like the design. I think it looks cool.
There's a lot
I
of
like the
Billy Joel and
colours.
Gary
It's got a sort of Zoid
conversation
look
going
to it.
on.
I feel like.
Yeah, it has.
It's very
She said to me-
Zoidish, yeah.
Cross Zoids with Transformers and Warhammer 40k. To me, that
And you've
sounds
got
good.
perfection.
Yeah.
It does look quite cool. And it does transform into
A car actually looks like a fucking Warhammer car. It's
Does it look like?
does,
Does it look
Steampunk.
like the actual?
Steampunk type
Does it
thing.
look like the eyes of the windscreen and the engines, the nose?
Does look a
No.
bit like that.
I think the eyes
No.
look exactly like an armored car. I think it look pretty cool.
And there you go.
There we go.
You get a figure with it too.
And then a couple of devies.
So it's Magic Square on the left, New Age on the right. The Magic Square is the new one. I think the Magic Square one looks probably edging it. The New Age one looks a bit plasticky and cheap in that photo. What do you think, Alexis?
It's until you get them in hand, I guess, right? Until you give them a little bit of a squish and the tolerances, the articulation.
Rubbing
hard to
against
tell.
something.
Yeah, I've got the Devi. I've got the one on the right. I've got 4 of the one on the left at the moment on its way. There are.
What
there
do you
are
like
few-
the look of? That was the question. What one do you like the look of from this photo?
All right, Paxman. All right, Paxman. Calm down.
Axeman.
Um,
I love. You grow. I think you grow to love the Magic Square finish, like that really matte finish. It looks really good there, and sometimes it doesn't look that good.
it's weird. I think that looks more cartoon accurate. I guess almost like
Yeah.
that.
Is there another photo coming up later on that also
There is.
features these two?
Oh,
there is.
No, let's
Oh,
not
for it.
get bogged down
We'll talk-
here then. Let's
We'll talk about it then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll answer a question later, Joe.
You never answer.
Jerry. Who's Jerry?
Jerry
Jeremy
Paxman.
Paxman. Jerry Paxman.
Fanstoys out back.
Jeremy Paxman. Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. I mean, I've never heard anybody refer to him as Jerry.
We're close. We're like this. We are.
Does
mate.
he live
We're
near
like
you? Everybody else
this.
does.
Me and
Anyway,
Jerry.
Outback.
No, Outback. He lives Outback. Oh, I get it now. This is Outback.
I'm not telling you to go
Fanstoys.
there.
Fans Toys Outback. Looks really good. Obviously, they released their Brawn, so this, why wouldn't this one be next? It's weird, interesting how they're giving Megatron's gun with.
Wasn't that a
Outback, and
brawn
it's-
thing?
It is a Brawn thing, but they sort of refer to. I don't know if they actually produced the one for the MP36 Masterpiece Megatron, or actually they refer to, because they give pictures of. No, they didn't, because I've got Brawn, so they wouldn't. Anyway, never mind. This is Pipes, obviously on the left hand side there. It's just come out.
Peeps.
You got Huffer on the right hand side. He is being shipped now. People are starting to see it in the US. It hasn't quite come out in the UK just yet. I imagine you'll start seeing it next week. But then this is if you like Pipes. The other version is Baggy, which is a regular version. This one looks at they're a little less cab heavy than they are together. Outback I like. I've got a really soft spot for him. I don't like any of the other third season bots apart from Wheelie, because everyone loves Wheelie, right? Outback had that sort of spotlight episode in episode 99 of the comics when obviously Magnus was going to kill Prime. He sent out those sort of predators, and I keep talking about it every time. Outback sacrificed himself, didn't he? And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I think they were Guardians when they're Guardian robots, the yellow and
they sort of slashed him, didn't they? So
yeah, proper claws. What was that about?
That's it. Prime should have got the Black Knight because again, it would be a bit of flesh wounds, but can't pick them. More
so is this available for pre-order? I'm guessing, seeing as it says pre-order.
This is from TF Network, TF Upgraded Network. Again, this is a site in, I want to say, Central America.
It's a nice looking pipe. To be fair,
it'll be good.
How much will this be?
110, 120.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at the finish they had on it's painted head to toe to Rig, which is their version of Huffer. Bobby Skullface just released his review of it today, and if you compare it to Bad Cube, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if it's going to be better than Bad Cube, but you look at them next to it, it's more to accurate. So it's got limitations. There's some things like shoulders, because Huffer had those really weird arms, didn't he? Like came out sort of halfway down his torso.
When's Brian Bonebots' review coming out?
But his painted head, the paint on it is immaculate. Like you're paying for that finish, that Fanstoys finish. It's like that's what you pay for. Like and again, this is what you pay. This is why New Age is more expensive as well, I think, than Magic Square, because with New Age, and Paul will agree to me on this one, the painted, Darius, how good is the paint job on Darius, right? Again, the metallic version.
Oh, that's insane.
So moving on to New Age, here's their version. I think this is the EX version, which is the toy version of Prime. There you go. But look at the paint on that. It's just, and again, everyone's comparing the New Age David, the new one's just come out, the original version, to MP44, the paint on it. Because it's just, it's painted to the nines, and that's what you pay for the extra piece there. I mean, if you look at the hands, it's quite good. You can actually move the hands to actually.
But the chest looks kind of off, doesn't it? And you're looking right through. As well.
Is this the one with the chest behind the chest?
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's the cab, isn't it? And they've just put another cab in front of it. Well, yes.
It looks great there, but yeah, you're right. That's why I think Magic Square Prime is better, because it hasn't got that.
I don't like Magic Square Prime. I think it looks cheap compared to this. I think this looks premium. I think Magic Square's.
Do you just like the bigger tits?
Premium.
I hate the chest and the madness in that sense. I just think Magic Square need to paint their figures better. If Magic Square painted their figures, if they painted their figures better, they'd be phenomenal, right? They don't paint their figures enough, but that's how they save money.
Right.
Moving on.
There you go.
Here we go. So this is interesting because you've actually got Magic Square far left for Devastator, and then the Menasor on the right hand side is Magic Square as well. But if you look at the size, the Menasor for Magic Square actually scales better with the New Age on the far right. The Magic Square on the bigger Menasor on the left hand side is the BW oversized Menasor. So it's like, so again, you've instantly got two different sizes from the same company. Now, but the interesting one is how big will Zeta Predaking be against these, and then how big will Zeta Aerobots be against them? Because again, you'll probably want to pick your Menasor and your Devastator in scale with those bots, those combined bots, wouldn't you? Which aren't out yet. So it's quite a difficult decision to make right now. So, hold off or buy them all.
Isn't Devastator, I know we asked this before, but isn't Devastator sometimes John is the biggest of the combiners? I know people have said something.
Oh, there was debate, wasn't there? Yeah,
but I know in the new comic, it's definitely Devastator's the biggest.
Is he bigger than Predaking? Or Predaking has 6, didn't he?
Well, Predaking's not about yet, so that's why I can easily say that with confidence.
Spoiler there for everyone.
Dead Prime. Is this the New Age Dead Prime then?
Again, spoiler again for everyone who hasn't watched the movie yet. This is New Age Dead Prime.
We never said it was from the movie.
Well done, Alexis. Well done.
Fucking ruined it.
There we go. This is the scene.
Everybody go home. He's ruined
it. I fear the wounds are fatal.
Wow.
Was that your Perceptor?
Yeah, that was.
All right.
Okay. It's really good. You've been
He smoked a lot of Marlboro.
I don't think it was just Marlboro he was smoking. What are you doing, Dave?
What is that?
Music
what
on.
is that?
Who's put music on?
Who's playing on their phone? Is that you?
Who's got their phone
It
on?
was not I.
Definitely wasn't Jamie.
No.
Anyway,
Is there
let's move
someone?
on.
This you can buy this from the TF Upgrader Network again. It's third-party components for Black Zarek, which converts him into that almost like that. Is it like the devil, like the weird scorpion ship thing from Victory? Is it Victory? I want to say
He
Victory.
turns into a weird mode, doesn't he, to attack?
Yeah, and that's what this
And
is.
somebody put
effectively.
googly eyes on theirs when they transformed it. recently,
Everyone really
which was
likes
quite-
the tail.
Was that Dave Wright? I can't remember. It was very funny.
Everyone seems to like the tail.
Yes.
actually. So
Yeah,
the
the
one
tail,
for
that is
Scorpion
quite
Rocks
cool.
as well.
Giant tail for Titan class Black Zarek. Nice.
Almost looks like a manticore tail, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
This is something new, which is just coming out. I see it again. TF Upgrade Network are very hot to trot at the moment. Cassette Devastator. So these transform into individual, not robot modes, but individual vehicle modes, and then into individual cassettes as well. So if you show the next picture, there we go. There's the cassette modes, and then do come. So if you're not much fan of a parts former, there, and then so quite interesting. It's just another clever idea.
Yeah, love that.
Oh, this looks good. New pictures of Mega Tank. Now, Jamie, Mega Tank's the company, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think this is probably. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I reckon this is something like TFC in the skies or Toy World in the skies, releasing a single figure under a different name, then so they can.
Whose
Yeah,
figure is
yeah,
that
no-
then? The Optimus Prime? Which version of Bumblebee Prime is that?
Is that
It's-
30X?
I mean,
It
on the
could be.
website, what do you call it? Showzeds.com, they will show you the different primes, third party primes, so you can see the different sizes compared to their
Yes,
sort
they
of
do.
is it Monocrat Megatron, isn't it? It's called.
Yeah, but he's fucking huge. He's about 15 inches tall, and it then converts into a tank, as his name would atone to. But again, if you're into the sort of like Bumblebee verse stylized, real life sort of thing, that's the one to go for. He's 130 pounds, so you get quite a lot of what I
Bloody
I
imagine.
thought it'd be more than that.
Yeah,
I
I
imagine
did.
it's gonna be a lot of die casting as well. It looks like a lot of die cast.
I would like a
And then-
smaller version of that. That would be awesome.
Almost chud size, you might say.
Yes, downscaled to
For
protect.
men with smaller hands.
Do you have
Oh,
small
you
hands?
big-handed freak. Anyway,
Do you have small hands?
Man
Do you like a
hands.
fiddle? Do you want something cheap? Buy
police
Chug.
have nicknamed you
Anyway.
Night Prowler for all the women you've destroyed with those hands. Anyway, moving on. FT Jive, which is jazz.
Which everyone's blowing up for today. Fanstoys have in the last 3 or 4 days have just been dropping these 4 figures, and they actually are proper coloured prototypes or very near finished variations of Mirage, Jazz, Hoist, and Trailbreaker. Which
Was
they've
it
had on-
Fanstoys we had the discussion about last week where they built some Stunticons and not actually got round to releasing them all? Was that Fanstoys?
Yeah, no, move on. No, move on.
It was,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
is.
Yeah,
It was.
because I saw a
Finished off
meme about
combiners.
somebody made that use that meme of the people talking
was-
in the
it was-
office
it was
looking for
Ian.
ideas. What shall we
Ian.
release next? It was Ian. It was Arrowfire. That was right. And yeah, that made me laugh because it's true. So yeah, great that they're dropping all these bots when they still haven't released the ones that they had.
You can pick
promised.
the order, but shut up and fuck off.
I can't help but feel that's an unconvincing argument, Alexis.
Again,
You lose. Anyway,
you
that's a nice looking hoist.
Hoist. Yes, when he goes to
Hoist.
Hollywood. So again, jazz. They come with all multiple faces, and I'm sure lots of
Of
things
course
there.
they do. They all do.
I mean, make toys is absolutely amazing, and so is the Transform Element version of Mirage. I don't know if I think with a picture of Mirage as well. Mirage actually comes with 2 different heads, so you can have the toy and the toon head as well. They just look so crisp. That there's not real. How can you? I think all the screws are probably on the back, as they do Fanstoys anyway. But it looks really good, like in all the modes.
It's the best alt mode I've seen. Because when they first previewed this, the robot mode had the doors at the back, like the wings up, and in the new photos, I haven't seen the wings up.
Didn't
So
you
this
say,
10
Alexis, that you have the option with it?
You do.
Oh,
I imagine you'll have the option with this as well. This does come with the speakers, as does Make Toy, some of the speakers, and it comes with his missile launcher as well, which you can. The difference with Fanstoys, I think I've seen a picture of it. You can attach the missile launcher to the back of the car.
by the way, we're talking about jazz at the moment.
Oh, Jazz Club.
So more Mirage there. I don't know if that all mode. I think the all mode looks as Transform Element looks just as good.
It
I
looks
think.
too
as that.
small at the front. The wheels look too small. Look a bit off. Phantasm. I like the name.
It is. That's a great Batman.
They're really clean
Batman.
looking, but they're almost too clean looking.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's to be cartoon accurate. Well, I assume. Although it's...
So again, they're 130 quid a pop each.
Ooh,
So there's the different head sculpt as well. So you've
changeable
got toy-
heads.
The heads
Toil
are not
too.
really that different, to be honest.
If you look at the
It's just the
cow,
sides, isn't
cow.
it? Yeah.
2-degree
Yeah.
angle difference.
That's where your money's going.
There you go. So he can become the mask of the Phantasm, Batman animated 1992.
Thanks, Goldmember. Batman animated 1992. Anyway, right, moving on. That was the news, by the way.
Oh, cool. Sorry, that's me, isn't it? Right. Okay.
Chat and actually pay attention.
Hang on, we were done in under half an hour. He's not used to this.
Well
Yeah,
done.
no,
That's
look at
brilliant.
this.
Yeah.
26 minutes.
he's normally just off on his second poo.
Well,
No, my wife.
That's because we made Alexis do his homework. We asked him for every single photo he posted.
Jamie did
Right.
a brilliant job of doing that. And what's
Oh
this?
crap! You rang
It's-
me in, didn't you, this week? Damn it!
It's
I didn't see
time.
through that. You.
It's time for the best bit of the show, basically. So watch this bit. You can tune out after that. It's fans, toys, innuendo, and first of all, you need to guess. So what we do is we take a picture from the Fans Toys Facebook group. The people there get very passionate about the toys they love, and I've replaced it cunningly with another photo. You guys have to guess, my co-host, what was the Transformer originally there. There we go. So may all your 2022 collecting dreams come true.
Is it even a
What?
Transformer this week? It never is a Fans Toys Transformer.
It's always a Transformer. It's always a Transformer. mate.
Loosely.
Is it
Does your ex
jazz?
know you've used a photo of her?
Who? He's a T-Rex.
Where the fuck did you find that photo?
It was just in my search
You
history.
used to smoke, Alexis. Anyway, right, come on. Serious now. Fans
Jazz.
Toys.
I
This
think
is
it's
serious
jazz.
stuff. We don't
Really?
mess around here.
I can be serious with that photo on the screen.
Right, so think about
Give us
next
a
year.
clue. Next year.
This year.
This
You mean
year.
this year? Because it is 2022.
Yep, that as well. And think about chicken.
What?
Okay.
Where
KFC.
where
No,
do you
wait.
buy? Why do you buy chickens?
KFC.
Supermarkets.
KFC, which
The
is
farm.
KFC.
No,
KFC.
supermarket. Who said supermarket?
Jamie did.
Some,
Because he has
Right.
sensible guesses.
Think about the Tesco's in Ramsgate.
Of course. The Tesco's
happened
in
there?
Ramsgate. Right.
And what's
Right.
near
What
there?
into?
What's next to the Ramsgate?
I don't know.
Yep, yeah, correct. The sea. And what happens in the sea?
You
oh,
drown.
I'm hopefully going to drown myself. I'm going to just.
What happens? Shh, what
I
were
will-
those?
I will-
Wait, sound
When they
wave?
come back
Sound
out.
wave. Sound wave. Shockwave.
Boom! Yes, it was. It was Soundwave. That was an
It
easy
all
one
makes
this week.
perfect
There we
sense.
go. Robot Power.
Really easy one this week.
The
Not too easy
Tesco's
on
in
you.
Ramsgate. Love it.
Right, that's the old logo.
Yes.
Let's go to the new one. Right, so
I think I
now
was close to a KFC.
that was good. And when you said that, it started directing me somewhere else. But time for pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Cool. Who would like to go first? Andy, do you want to go first?
I can. I didn't know if Jamie wanted to do any catch up this week.
No, not this
Oh,
one.
all right. Well, rather than because I kind of get a bit sick of just holding them up, I will very quickly hold up what I picked up, and then I just took a few very quick photos, which I'll share in a second. So I've got Peeps, who I realised I wasn't going to get him because I know RJ shared it and other people shared it, the link to the Entertainer, and I wasn't going to get it because I thought I've got it pre-ordered somewhere else. And then I stopped and I sat and I thought and I went, did I actually get around to pre-ordering Pipes? And I went through every website into my accounts and went, nope. So I then panicked and got onto the Entertainer and Peeps. And I like him. I like them all. And the other one was a bit of a random one that came up. You may remember the Allspark powered incinerator movie figure that I've shown before, and I've also mentioned that I've got the crankcase. I think you've got that one as well, haven't you, Jamie? Have you got the Allspark powered crankcase? It was basically go back to 2007, I think it was. Let's go back in time, and this Allspark powered. Yeah, like that. Thank you, Alexis. They had the Allspark powered line, which was kind of to run alongside the movie, and they stuck into it a couple of figures that were supposed to go into the Chug line, which was Crankcase, which was going to be like a Chug version of Crankcase, and Getaway, which they had to call Breakaway due to the whole thing. And I got Breakaway/Getaway this week. And I got it really cheap. I mean, all in with postage cost us £11. So
wow,
nice and cheap. I missed out on this originally because I stupidly went to wherever they were. I think it was exclusive to Asda, and I bought the Crankcase one because hell, it's Crankcase. Of course, I'm going to frigging buy it. And I remember looking at it and going, "That's just Cybertron Hotshot recolored. I'm not buying that." And then I remember later on thinking, actually, it's supposed to be Getaway. I'm going to have to go and buy that. And I basically had gone and I never saw it again. And it came up on a sale on the groups, and I picked it up as soon as I could. And I've just taken a few very quick snaps.
Who is it? Sorry, so that's
well, it's supposed to. It was going to be
Hotshot.
a Generations
Hotshot.
Getaway, but it's based off the Cybertron Hotshot mold.
Oh. So it's not Crankcase.
So, no, I've got Crankcase. He's back here in the display case, but he was in the same line. And Crankcase was Cybertron Red Alert, I think it was. Somebody in the chat, I'm sure, will be able to confirm or deny that. Biggie? Right,
no,
so...
No, Terry's staying still.
Oh, God, I love a bit of Nokins. Who doesn't?
Loads of pipe jokes coming in.
Who doesn't love pipes? So there he is. Now, I like him. I took the first shot with Puffer because I was trying to decide which I preferred. I actually prefer the visor on Puffer, and I kind of prefer the fact that his colours mean that you can pick out more of the details of the sculpt.
Yeah,
I do love that deep blue, just the colour itself. Either way, it's I like the Huffer mode. You know I do. I stuck it into the goddamn 5 bots of the year or whatever we had the other day. I mean, I freaking love it. I think that's just an optical illusion, but yeah, he looks good alongside the others, and to have all 4 now, yeah, I'm pretty pleased. My favourite of the lot is still Road Ranger, just because I love his colours. I absolutely love his colours.
They're still my despots.
Yeah, well, they're cool to pose. They're cool to kind of just have. I just wanted to do a few quick comparison photos. I was kind of doing them for myself, and then I thought, you know what, bollocks, do it. Rather than just holding a figure up this week, I will just show them alongside the original, the OG Huffer. Who I do still like, but he hasn't got a faceplate. That one comes slightly blurry, but I just wanted to show him in scale with Bumblebee, the Origins Bumblebee, who I thank Alexis for again. He's still one of my kind of despots. And then the 4 of them in a little group shot there. I would recommend him. I mean, if you like the mold like I do, you're gonna love it because it's pipes. I have not yet crushed him under any version of Overlord's foot yet, but it may happen along the way. If I had to rank them in order of like my personal preference, it would probably be Road Ranger. Then it's a bit of a toss-up between Puffer and Pipes, but I'd probably go Pipes just because it's Pipes, and then Puffer, and then Huffer last, only because I just prefer the bots who have the faceplate.
I haven't seen you rank anything like that since Boyzone.
You haven't seen me rank at all. And then we go on to the few quick shifts. Now, the only thing I will say about this, it isn't obviously a brand new bot. You can tell it's got a little bit of damage to it, but I just love it. I love that car mode. It just absolutely smacks of that mid-2000s period of like, just let's make it look shit hot. Unfortunately, a little bit of paintwork. I may have to pay somebody to fix that for me because I'm no good with the paintbrush. If you just get a bit of
white paint, you'll be fine.
And yeah, it's got a few little bits chipped off, but I still I've been messing around with this one as much as Pipes just because it's quite fun to mess around with. It's not as much fun as modern bots, I'll grant you. These little wings come out when you put in the cyber key, and you get, because Hotshot was basically a Hot Rod ripoff, wasn't he? Robot mode, I like the colours. You can see the little homage to Getaway. Only thing I would have liked would be an actual faceplate, like for me Getaway has. But I still really like it. And then you can get the wings up in robot mode as well. And he looks really nice. He's in, apart from the little bit of paint chipping, he's actually in pretty good condition. He comes with one of those ridiculous guns that all Transformers of the period had, which is like 70% launching missile, and then the bit of the actual gun. But I don't mind that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of launching missile weapons, but then again, they were still aimed more at kids at this point, weren't they?
I find it interesting how this is obviously the original time that Getaway ripped off Hot Rod's mold, MMC being the other one that I can think of.
Yeah, well, they use a similar mold. They had similar-ish alt modes in IDW. No spoilers there, I'm sure. But it does work for him for the MMC version as well. But anyway, that's him. As you can see, he's a much well-loved bot. The thing I would compare him to is I like picking up a bot like that because it reminds me of when you have a really good find at like a car boot sale and you find something that you really like and get it for a relatively low price. I looked all over eBay for years trying to find one of them, and the ones I could find were all like in friggin' America and were going to cost me a fair whack to get over here. So to pick one up, I mean, basically he was £8, so to pick him up cheap was cool.
I think it's time to take America back, really.
Take it.
Well,
oh God, Jamie's just declared war. Wales, the US.
It's like you've been thinking about it for a couple of days as well. Yeah, it's
I
time
think
to take
the
them
time
back
has
now.
Yeah,
Was that a signal? That was like a signal. That was like the Emperor.
Call all the hardest Scottish people we know, and we're going to go get back. Where's Mel Gibson? Go and get us.
Dear.
it's our country and you can't play with it.
Right,
And I'll have
Alexis.
Paul, I've never played with your pipes.
Oh, you saw that, but you have let me play with your rector.
Yeah,
Alexis,
you have. You all have, and you fucking.
what did you get this week? You awesome man.
What I got the Covert. Is it Agent Ravage? The Covert Ravage, the special edition one, the one that Jamie showed off. So I need to go get it. Anyone know what it is? Looks like. Oh.
Where's he gone? It's good that he's
Going to
prepared.
get it.
We really should give him more warning. I mean, he doesn't realise we do
A week
pickups
is not
every
enough,
week.
is it?
This came in today. It's all out. It's second. It's all out of the box a little bit. It's like put put it back in. It's not quite there. It's that one.
Cool.
That guy there. Which is quite good. So he's going in my Beast Wars selection. Got a couple of Legend spots.
Just to be clear, that's a Hasbro mainline figure, right, Alexis?
No.
Yes.
And
Alexis, are your hands getting smaller? Is that why you?
they're getting bigger because I bought these
Chug
masterpiece. I bought these masterpiece Transformers as well.
Don't you dare, you filth.
I got the Datsun
Hang on, a Legends collector taking the piss out of us.
All right, lady hands.
Anyway.
I bought
Sorry,
Devastator.
Alexis is still showing stuff off.
New Age Devastator. So that.
Oh, you've got your 4 parts to it.
Is
it four?
It's the
Why
free,
is one
free
box slightly
box.
bigger then?
Because we know
Because that's-
counting's not your strong points. We just want to be sure you're okay.
Basically, this is if you look there, it's the main body and all the bots just clip on at the bottom.
Oh,
and
so it
those limbs.
comes as a whole separate piece, right?
That's it. And then I got Soundwave, Acoustic Wave,
It's going
tapes,
in a very dark.
tapes. Acoustic Wave tapes which have just come out.
Cool.
And
Wait
then
till TFN,
I got, I'm the very first person in the whole world to receive a Magic Square smokescreen box.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say
It's actually-
hand job from Jamie, but okay.
No, I know. No, I'm not the first person for that. I won't be the last either. No. No.
I
I'm
saw
still-
your
I'm still-
post about
So
that.
she-
Were you the first to
I'm
actually
still in
post
the
about
queue
it
though.
then?
Well,
It's a long queue.
'cause- no. So everyone. So if you look, so Rohan, who's got this, who's reviewing this today, received it in the Prowl box.
I thought
I
he
received-
was
Ah.
MFTs.
I've received my.
I need to change the
I
title of the show then.
Lies, deceptions.
I've received my Magic Square Prowl in a smokescreen box. So just to show, I said I put this on the show, and then as you can see, it is.
Yeah, I did wonder that
Prowl.
because you put a comment on, didn't you, about can you spot the thing that's interesting or something about it? And I thought, well,
There
why
we
has it got
go.
smoke screen on the front?
Yep, it's all Prowl.
So
Prowl.
has Smoke Screen actually been released yet?
No,
So it's a mistake. So you've got,
Ooh.
so you could like
I'm the-
do like a preview of the box and see what it's meant to look like and stuff.
that's it. Oh, there we go. So it's called Smog, and you can see that it's got all his images there. It'd be MSB25, which is pretty cool. So make it difficult if I want to sell Magic Square Pro. But there you go. So yeah, ages 16 and up, and he's cool. Yeah.
What?
My God,
Wait,
there was one idea would
What,
be too.
what is this below there? Broadenbang? What's that all about? Because his name's Smog. But Broadenbang?
That's just what they put for Magic Square, isn't it? They write that. It's something to do with that creature.
Is that not a safe word?
Translate it.
Broadenbang?
okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
A safe
I'm drunk
word
enough for that.
Transformers.
There you go. If anyone's watched Euro Trip, that's very funny. There's a safe word in that one.
I thought you were just going to say, so we've seen Euro Trip. Great film.
No, great. Oh, it's so funny. That
Seen
movie.
American
I
Pie?
know.
So funny. Such
It's like
a funny
that.
film.
It's like favorite bit in Euro
Oh,
Trip
have you all
is
seen the
either-
book of Boba Fett? Let's
No,
do
yeah,
spoilers for
episode
that.
two.
Yeah, big spoilers.
Yeah. Oh my god! Who said about Jar Jar Binks? You were right. Fucking hell, he's so
I
good.
know. Who knew he was a Sith Lord? The rumors were true.
Oh.
It's great.
No, he's
stuff.
not.
Episode 2,
Don't
mate. You'll see.
Don't
You'll see it as it
Don't
goes
lie.
on.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie.
Cool. Right, stop ruining my life. Next.
Never.
That's it.
Who
You
is
have
next?
to
It's
be
you,
re-
isn't it, Paul?
I didn't get everything this week, mate. Sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologise.
Still like Transformers.
How dare you? Do you? I thought you'd gone off them now.
You mean you didn't even get any new paper for your
Pogs?
fax machine that you want to
Get
show
some
off or
pogs?
anything? Or
Some random facts. No, I've got nothing from the 90s either. Some Rats memorabilia. No, nothing.
Rugrats.
It's the
Never
first
liked
thing
that
that came
show.
to my
I
mind.
never
No, I
understood the
didn't.
appeal.
It's shit show. Absolute shit show. That's where things started going wrong in the world. And Yeltsin. Right.
or
Cool.
Rugrats?
Yeah, Rugrats kicked it all off. Jamie, have we been to you?
No.
Cool. Right. Let's move on to the next bit of the show, which is foreplay. So tonight our foreplay is Blurr. So we've all got a Blurr each. We haven't discussed who's got who, but no doubt Andy and Jamie will have one which can fit their hands. And me and Alexis will have some man
you
side
just-
toys.
These are sex people.
What do you mean?
Sorry, I cut you off.
Yes,
Andy.
we
what
are.
were you
I
gonna
know.
say?
Yes,
You
we are.
always do.
Do it again.
No,
do
no,
it again. do it
Alexis,
again.
Alexis,
do
say
it
what
again.
were you
No,
going to
it's
say?
fine. Just play the bit first, because
Alright,
otherwise
cool.
you're just going to cut me off.
Don't do that.
These are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. They'll think you want to join in.
Can you play it again? I forgot to go get my transformer.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You can't watch the.
There's a
You
point
can't
where the
watch
new
the
baby
bookends every
excuse
week.
stops working.
Don't worry. We'll
You've
pause
done
it,
nothing.
Alexis. We'll pause the live show.
Yeah, just pause
Alright.
it.
Right, I'll go first then. Yeah, and we'll just tell Alexis we've paused the VHS. Go and get it. Right, so
You need to get Lisa to come and help you lift it up, because obviously it won't be to fit you. Oh, amazing! It fits your hands. Oh, it's incredible.
so what you see there is it's these are Transformers which are bigger than your hand, called Masterpiece Transformers. This is Masterpiece Blurr. I think actually I'm going to go back on myself. Probably one of my favorite Transformers ever picked up, or my most underrated Transformer was probably Titan's Return Blurr. When I picked him up, I remember it was £5 in Tesco's, and they had a couple of like the last of that wave. They had a load of Blurs. I was like, I'll pick up Blurr. He looked really bland in the Titan's Return one because it was all the same colour, wasn't he? The Takara one looked more like this, probably in its better colours. So I got him home, ripped him open, and dead impressed with the Titans Return Blurr. Great transformation. So the only Blurr I own now is Fanstoys Blurr. Jabba is his name if you're going by the Fanstoys. And yeah, he's my Blurr.
You just got
It's
the
right.
same figure, Alexis.
If you got
You actually just got. Look, he's up again.
That's why I went first.
Quickly, somebody have whatever figure he's about to get next. Oh dear.
But yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier, weren't we, about Fans Toys being so too accurate. And I think when you get a really cool figure like Cyclonus or Galvatron, whose character design on the movie was so intricate, but the Fans Toys are such a slave, it comes out and you can see what amazing detail they are. sometimes with characters like Blurr, who are quite simple paint jobs in the film, it doesn't really pay off to have a Transformer this big, looking maybe a little bit too accurate. So he's my Blurr at the moment. I wouldn't trade him for another Blurr. I probably wouldn't pick up Titans Return one either. But
have you seen the DX9 version? DX9.
No, I haven't.
He's really good.
I think I've seen him, but
bit taller. He's not too accurate. He's more stylized. He's like Blurr if Blurr got the Matrix.
Drifty
Blurr.
Blurr.
He's a bit taller. Looks a bit older in the face. Got really good alt modes and really good transformations. Very clean as well.
Yeah. And maybe Fanstoys are too clean sometimes, but the design's amazing, the transformation's amazing, the alt mode's amazing. Just probably a little bit too inaccurate, but still a bloody good Blurr, I would say.
Bloody
right, Blurr. Who would like to go
Jamie, do you want
Blurry
to go
next?
What one were you going to do, Andy?
Well, you do what you're going to do. I thought we might clash, so I've got a choice of two. So you do the one you're going to do.
I had the same as well. To be honest, we've all heard about Dick in a Box. Well, I've got Blurr in a box, and I've gone with Studio Series Blurr, and he's still in a box. I know, but I've actually
hang on. So I can't go for that. I can't go for that one now.
Actually, you got in a box as well. But I've actually had them out and I've transformed them, and it's a hard one because he is so accurate to the actual animation. When I compare the Titans Return and this Blurr to the animation, this one's really spot on, but he just looks goofy. And I think the Titans Return one is more of a not stylized. Yeah. I just think it's an improved version of the Blurr and looks a hell of a lot better. So, I've got that Blurr behind me, and I like to do that if I ever have anything to do with Transformers the movie. I like to use the Titans Return to Takada Blurr. But, I can't get away from it. Those guys, did follow the cartoon to the T when they made the character. The face is derpy, but so is the animation Blurr's face. It's quite derpy, So, and they pulled out the stops. The transformation is a bit of a bitch in comparison to the Titans Return one. But, eventually it does all click together and it makes quite a good vehicle. And, it does come with the little accessories, I think, with his gun and what was it, a canister of oil or something? It was like a blowtorch. I can't remember.
It was the blowtorch from when they were fixing the crashed part of the shuttle that they escaped in.
Yeah,
when Galvatron blew up the back half.
Because normally when I sort of do photo shoots, sometimes I like to have duplicates or something like that, for some of these photo shoots I have ideas of. And the only reason I haven't really opened this yet is because A, I've been ill. So that's the big reason. And B, I'm just worried there's going to be a fucking Bumblebee version coming out of Blurr, like they did with Cup.
Yeah.
Because I bought two versions of fucking Cup, and I don't even like that one. And then they fucking bought a Bumblebee version of Cup, and I'm like, oh, mother. So I'm thinking,
it's very good, though.
The minute I open this, they'll be bringing out another version of Blurr, Bumblebee version, which I don't think, because when I look at it, there's not really much they could really improve on that, to be honest, apart from fixing the face.
Well, they did it with Cup, didn't they? They changed the face
have a chin
bit.
transplant. Yeah, get rid of the chin a little bit. But it's a fun figure, and I think the 86 line as a whole is doing well, just like the Bumblebee series, Studio Series stuff. The new Studio Series stuff, I kid you not, is really kicking it just now. Kicking it in the quality of Transformers being produced, trying to look exactly or as close as possible to the actual Transformers what are produced, and have both alt modes and robot modes. And the Studio Series right now, if it's Studio Series Bumblebee, if it's Studio Series 86, and even the Studio Series to do with the Bayverse, are really just starting to kick it now. I think they're really good quality bots to have for chugs. Yes, you finished.
Right, go on. All right, Andy, you have to try and guess what Alexis's next bot is and grab it.
Well, I'll try and cover a couple of bases, then I'll take two. I just wanted, because he's here, and I had him to hand at the time, my original G1 Blurr. Oh, there he is, nice. Loose as hell. He flopped. Oh no, he's not. Amazing, his arm's staying up. I love you again.
It's magic.
But he is. He's he was played with. That's a reality. This is why you don't make people play with your toys, because they get all loose. But there he is, the original, the OG. And I always like the look of it. It's one of those bots that I like looked at it and thought it looks good, and then you actually start fiddling around with it, and it's a shame. But you know, he's still got his shield, he's still got his gun, he still transforms without anything breaking off. So I don't complain about him. I just lack after him. He's precious, as Zango would say. Oh, so precious. But the one that is my favorite, and I still think the best version of Blurr, is still the Titans Return version. Now, I only have the boring paint job version, as I think Paul would refer to it as, and I do prefer the Takara one. I will pick up the Takara one at some point, but I still have a lot of love for this. I just think this is a really good bot mode. Is it the best representation of what you see in the cartoon on the screen? Maybe not, but then again, I'm not a cartoon guy. I don't need it to be ridiculously cartoon accurate. I just want it to be a good representation of that character, and I think this takes bits of the cartoon, it takes bits of the original to me, UK Marvel series, bits of IDW, and it chucks it all in the mix and comes out with a good-looking bot that's well-balanced, that's fun to play with, fun to transform. It's just a really good bot, and it speaks volumes of how good the mold is that they've used it so many times again for other figures. If it was a crap mold, I don't think they'd have bothered, but they knew
like
it was a good mold. Nautica,
RC.
Brainstorm, RC, which that's my favorite version of RC as well, probably for the same reason, because I like the mold. That's not the best, most accurate version of RC, but it's still a really good RC, and I still don't think we've had just a really good all-round solid RC. Not in mainline, can't speak for third party, but then a lot of the third party ones I've seen reviewed by you guys and looked at by you guys, there's always been something. There's always been some issue, whether it's a crap transformation or whatever it is. So I really love this guy, and I like the fact you can take this off and you can have the shield if you want to have the shield. I generally don't bother just because space on the shelf, he ends up knocking over other figures, but he is just a really good bot. I would like to pick up the Takara version because the paint job just pops that bit more, a bit like you were saying, Paul, with Jabba. You know, the fact of the matter is, while I don't need it to be slavishly cartoon accurate, I do like that color scheme. So at some point, who knows, maybe at TFN I'll pick that version up. But yeah, my pick would be Titans Return or Takara Legends Blurr, just because I do think it's probably the best mainline Blurr we've had so far, the most fun, most enjoyable, and I have it. So yeah, there's the reasons. Alexis, there's no way on earth you went for either of those two options because your Blurr will be up in your attic, and you know you don't collect Chug because you don't like them. Remember, so
and your hands are too small.
Yeah,
I've got such big hands. I've gone for the other masterpiece, Blurr.
Yes, Legends Collector.
DX9 Blurr.
You know, you could just do the same as Paul if you really want. We did say that previously that in Fourplay.
I had this guy. I forgot this guy. I've gone for IDW.
Oh, that is quite a nice looking.
Cool.
Which is the SXS version of Blurr with the thrusters on the back.
Yeah.
And he's got.
I think you're winning.
He's got a claw which turns into a gun, and he has his detachable shield as well. And I do actually have some photos of him. So I picked this guy up for about 25-30 quid. He's quite rare now. SXX only did 2 figures. They did this one really, and then did the hot rod. And the problem with the hot rod is he's much more screen accurate, but they went up against the same time that MMC released their version, and he wasn't quite as good QC wise. He squeaked a lot. I bought him, and I bought the other hot rod. And I was like, I prefer that one. Let me just share my screen if I can find the right tab, and I'll show you some photographs that I did. Tab, window. No, I can't find. How do I share something? How the fuck do you share this thing? This thing's broken. Like this thing.
Just press share. Hey, Lucas. Hello.
Can't see the window. Lucas, can you fill time for a minute? I need to find the window and jump out of it. Google Slides from your computer.
Do you want me to fill some time?
If you had bigger hands, you'd have found it better.
Yeah, trying to find things.
Have you got photos? Sorry, I missed all that.
I'm sure glad this isn't live and we could edit this out.
If only this was live.
How do I share it?
I'll play the start of call.
Oh, I was going
before we get
to
copyrighted.
Yeah, all right. Don't get us
I
sued.
share
Break the
screen.
video.
If I share a screen, if I share that,
Oh,
if I
yeah,
share a
remember the
window.
time you did that?
Have you got an internal voice, Alexis? One is
No, God, he doesn't. Because he doesn't have an internal
Let me
voice.
come back to you. Let me come back to you. Once I've
You
worked
don't
out
have
this,
to show photo. You can just tell us
once
about
I've worked out this witchcraft,
Just tell us about it. It's fine.
It's a really cool figure. He's got a good postability, good dexterity. You can get him to all sorts of areas. Really good alt mode as well. Simple for transformation. Quite postable. Main thing I would say is light piping for the eyes, which is a little bit of disappointment. But apart from that, he's the best version of IDW Blurr you can get today. And when I show my photographs, I did reenact the Spotlight edition of him as well. So I will try and dig those out, and I'll put them on the Instagram as well for people who want to see them.
When you said, I look forward to seeing the photos, by the way, because I do like the look of that figure.
Put it on
When
the
you said you
Facebook page and
got
I'll
that
shove it on
blur, you
Twitter.
can get that blur into lots of different areas. What areas specifically can you get it into? Which have you tried, and which have you got
Milton
on your?
Keynes.
That
Have you
were the
tried
moves
Milton
there.
Keynes?
He can do the Van. He can do the full Monty. He can do the Van.
Oh,
Damme,
poses.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Sorry.
becomes
Yeah.
a beast when he does that.
He's got a really good
Base
weekend.
mode.
Split the
So-
legs, base mode.
Has he got a battle mode? Because Ed loves those.
That's if he splits the legs and then goes upside down.
So yeah, I mean, imagine you can get this guy into some pretty cool poses. You get
That
if you
looks
get one,
quite nice.
if you get one of the what they call those stands as well, he'd be even better really. So
Do you think the only thing downside with him, because it does look a really good figure, is the head looks a little small because his body's so hench?
isn't that how he looks in the comics as well though? Like he had quite a big.
Not quite. No, I mean he had like the bigger shoulders and stuff, and like you said, the kind of jets on the back of the shoulders and stuff. But he didn't look quite so hench. He just looks almost a bit too hench. I mean, it still looks really nice. Do not get me wrong. But if the head was slightly larger, slightly more in scale, I think
It's because you have to get
the best
because you have to get the head through the middle. So
yeah, of course, with the transformation.
and again,
Alexis
not
question. So Impactor 666 has asked if he could only afford that blur for his MP gang, should he go for it or should he go without? So would you recommend him? Or is there
he's not
another
MP
one?
scale. He's too small for MP.
Too small.
He's too small.
Chug scale.
More of a chug.
Impactor, you've got big hands like me and Alexis, so you'll need something much bigger for your big man hands. But sounds like he's a chug. Mick Holohands wrote, "Don't give a fuck if you're not breathing."
There you go.
Which is cool.
So,
I think
as you
he's
can
talking
see-
about Papa Roach rather than just writing that.
Yeah,
I was going to say, it's just me personally.
Just general
Our first
instructions.
hater.
There's been a bit of Papa Roach trolling in the chat, which has been quite fun.
Really? Papa Roach?
Good.
Why Papa Roach? That's what it was called. Come on.
Cut my life into pieces.
it's quite ironic that is actually since that obviously
This
that
is my
yeah.
life.
I quite like the look of that IDW blur now, the more I see
Anyway,
it.
let's
No,
not.
breathe. It's
That's
easy
like
to
the
get
after
into,
show.
isn't it? SeaWorld's #1 for 12
Anyways, no,
weeks.
stop. I'm going back to me late teens, early 20s. Let's not do that.
Okay, cool.
I'll have to grow my hair out, and that just ain't going to happen.
Right, Alexis, that was awesome. I think you won that actually, because that was a really good blur choice. So when you find the pictures, we'll pin them up. Until then, it's now time to welcome, Rohan,
Rohan, who is this guy? Rohan, the one and only Rohan.
Avast, you scurvy swabs, and welcome to Rohan's Corner 2022, the new and improved version, this time with real tomatoes. Happy New Year and welcome to Rohan's Corner. This week we are kicking off 2022 with a Legends review, none other than Magic Square Prowl. Here's Prowl in his prison as per all of my other Transformers as usual, and we can see a comparison shot with the Blue Streak box that I got a few months ago, and it's pretty much identical, let's be honest. You've got a picture of Prowl, a picture of Blue Streak on the side is the same schematic on the back. They've even taken away the little image of Blue Streak having a fight with Cyclonus and put on a text spec of his vehicle mode. We've got the same thing on this side. Nice little picture rendition. It's actually the same picture, just in different colours. And warnings on the bottom. So let's open him up and get him out, shall we? Instruction manual, card, weapons. You can see there we've got 1 gun and 2 missile launchers, and Prowl. And here's Prowl, slightly mistransformed out of the box. Looks pretty sleek all the way round. I have extended the tailpipes at the back here to give him more stability. Here he is with his Magic Square buddy Blue Streak, pretty much identical. A little bit more waist detail. Here he is compared to the other Prowls in my collection. We've got Magic Square Prowl here. We've got Generation 1 Prowl here, not that much bigger. Iron Trans, Legends Plus Scale Prowl, and Earthrise Prowl at the back there. I like the head sculpt on this guy. It's better than Earthrise in my opinion. A little bit more IDW styled. I think the Iron Trans one actually nails it the best in terms of G1 cartoon aesthetic. The weapons are identical to Blue Streak or Silver Streaks. The only difference is paint application. And I think in terms of his door wings, it's nice that you can actually move them up and down to the pose you'd like. And here we have a quick scale comparison up against New Age's Jazz, Magic Square's Trailbreaker, and Magic Square's Reflector, one of, and Mr. Moon's Blaster. Seems to scale about right with Magic Square. New Age is too small, obviously. And Mr. Moon, yeah, seems okay. As you'd expect with Prowl, his tech specs showcase his high intelligence, endurance, rank, courage, and skill, with low levels of Fire Blast, speed, and strength. Instruction sheet's just a single page. Let's see how hard it is. Right, here we go. Vehicle mode. What a faff that transformation was. The instructions are not great. It takes a while, but eventually you get a pretty cool looking car mode. The rear wings are a little bit afterthought, but they're not too bad. It cleans up quite nicely. You don't actually see those tailpipes underneath unless you look there. You can probably just about see them. You can see a little bit of gap clearance here underneath the windscreen on either side. It's not great, but it's not terrible either, especially if you're looking down from above. Overall, rolls pretty freely. Decent looking G1-esque Prowl. And here we have a nice comparison shot with the former Prowls. Iron Trans, Magic Square Blue Streak, G1 Prowl, and Earthrise Prowl. And here he is up against Magic Square's Wild Rider, Magic Square Optimus Prime version 1, and Mech Fans Toys Blitzwing. Of course, if you really want to, you can have these figures in GoBot mode. Right, so final thoughts on Prowl. He's a cool little figure. I would say the transformation is fiddly, and these leg pieces here are annoying, especially when it comes to getting them into decent poses, because they basically can go anywhere. So, here's a human after my own central processor. Right, well, there you have it, folks. I picked up Prowl on Show Z for approximately $36. That is about 27 of your Earth pounds. And those eagle-eyed viewers amongst you may have noticed my wall has gone. New year, new beginning. And I'm going to add every single pickup this year onto the wall. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed another cracking episode of Rohan's Corner. Catch you again next week. Back to the studio.
Don't worry. I'll be back, my dear little Trindles. I promise you that.
Ah, that was awesome, Rohan. Thank you so much. Oh, my focus has gone blowy ball.
Your camera does not like you.
No.
Or is that how you actually look in real life? You phasing between different.
I'm trying to, like,
oh my god, it's the
catch it.
multiverse. Oh, Jamie, I'm sure whatever you're saying is incredibly witty, but you're on mute.
Oh, I was just thinking that every time I see Paul, we're usually very drunk or drunk very quickly.
That'll be the blurriness.
Yeah. So to me, it's normal. Yeah.
Looking clear.
Focus on my hand.
Can you not just turn the camera off for a second and back on?
All right. IT
I mean, it's just
support.
a suggestion. I'm just trying to help.
When Andy gives a technical discussion, it's like, shut the fuck up, Andy.
And yet, oh, it didn't
listen, that
work.
didn't work.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What have you got left other than? Nice.
Right. It's discussion time.
We now return to the Transformers.
Got it working. It's gone. Brilliant.
Oh God.
he just didn't want to do the discussion. He's gone. It was
I'm
back.
just bored of being blurred. Hey, Blur from my Blur episode. Right, let's do the photos first because they look awesome. Captain
Oh,
Alexis.
I need to do one at a time.
Just take the
So this-
you're back to normal now, Paul.
Oh,
This
cool.
is
Give us the
this
feedback.
is-
Who's
so this
better?
is so the spotlight episode where Blur is obviously a bit of a racer, a bit of a celebrity. War has kicked off. Not sure what to do. Hasn't picked a side yet. And then there's a bit of a challenge really where the Decepticons are barricaded in the streets and no one can get through. But Prime sort of steps up to give Blur a bit of a scene to and says in a pep talk to say, look, you can make a difference. You matter. Someone with your special skills. And so he does. He decides that because of that sort of, he has a little think about what's happened to his friends, and he sees people that he's lost. So he does.
Not his
step
friend
up.
though, is
He
it?
does-
Because
His friend-
if you remember, it's his pit crew, member of his pit crew, and he
His pit
kind
crew,
of
yeah.
ignored them because he thought he was above them and better than them, and he kind of like was a bit like he'd say, "Oh yeah, we'll do this," and then completely ignore them, and then he realizes they've sacrificed themselves for something greater, and he wants to be great, doesn't he? That's the thing. That's what he loves, that roar of the crowd and knowing you're making a difference. I love that.
Yes.
I love that spotlight. It is actually a really nice version of that
It is.
iteration of the character.
It's because again,
Those
I think
photos
he
are
was
really good as well. I'm glad you found them in time
under- he was-
before we finish there.
he was undermined in the cartoon. Like he was just annoying, really.
He didn't
So
really
I've got-
do much, did he? I mean, like if you go back to the
No.
actual movie and actually watch Transformers the movie, he doesn't. He's there, but he doesn't actually contribute a hell of a lot, other than speaking fast.
I think this is the same one, different shot. So these are very similar shots. I've just done a couple of the similar shots, different angles, really. So again, as I said, like really poseable. It's quite hard to get a running pose. I think that SXX did a really good job of actually getting this guy to actually to be able to run. And I think Fanstoys, if you try to try and put him in the running pose, it's bloody difficult to put him in the running pose. So last photograph, and then we'll move on to discussion time. I'll put these on the Instagram as well. So
Put it on
but yeah,
Facebook so I can shove it on Twitter.
I will brand them up and I'll put them on Facebook. This was a while back I did these. So
I remember these. Now that you put
Yeah,
them
it's
on,
really good.
I think
It's
we had a
such
very
good-
similar discussion at the time about the spotlight as well.
I think we did. So,
Yeah, it's a complete
yeah.
repeat for me. I'm sober.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're always sober like Jamie. You are now. Not
Right,
so much
cool.
back then.
So on to they were excellent photos, Alexis. Thank you so much for showing them. On to introduce our discussion time is the super sober Jamie. So Jamie,
Our
what was the
discussion was basically about the idea that IDW could be losing its license to, is it Skybound? Is that what they're called? The people who do the Walking Dead comics, and some article which was from Screen Rant was saying that IDW has been making poor editorial choices and maybe poor decisions overall in the storytelling because they have too many characters. And they're trying to use them all at once, which means for convoluted storylines, means for lots of padding, but it necessarily slows down the storyline itself. And where I think this is what caused the fiction. They said where Michael Bay has very small characters in his film, making it very easy to follow and understand what is going on. So I think that was the thing that caused the real fiction was the analogy they used or the comparison they made. And so we were asking that tonight, is there too many fish? Is there too many,
Too many fish.
is there too many characters? Does it make it harder to follow for new people coming in to Transformers, where us as established fans have gradually seen these new Transformers get introduced, so we know all their backstories because we're following ladders up steps. We've came to it normally, where the new Transformer comics, when they come out, they try to put all the characters in at once.
I don't mind. I don't mind starting. So, an example for this came from. Have you ever played? Well, it's not Pictionary. It's categories, where you have to come up with a category. So we played it on Christmas Day with the family. And of course, we all chose the category. So someone chose like films and stuff, and I chose Transformers because I'm a dick. And no one knew anything about Transformers. Now, the amount of people who said, like, just went, "Oh, you're a dick." Oh, I don't know, Night Angel, Ice Walker, and just said like, and Blade. And I was like, well, that's not Transformer. I looked it up, and on TF Wiki, like, literally every single one of them was a Transformer, and it had a backstory, and these were completely random names. There were so many of them, complete bollocks, that my wife said, and my family said, and my friends, and yeah, there was a lot of
Did you lose?
No, I win. I win. I won.
I won.
I won.
I won
the whole thing. But I lost at Rummy Cup, so every clown. So yeah, I think there is so many Transformers. You can literally say any relatively cool word from the 90s, like Blade, and there will be a Transformer if you look it up on TF Wiki. It's really hard. I do like it quite, like when 2015 RID took it back to just like 6 Transformers, and then they just exploded with, like, on season 2 of like 20 Transformers, and then 30 and 40. So no, I think.
See, I don't agree with the Bay thing. I don't agree with the comparison with the Bay films being like simpler. Like, I think that the article said that they were much easier to follow. Maybe for the first film, because the cast of Autobots and Decepticons was fairly small. But after that, things started to get complicated. I mean, in Revenge of the Fallen, you had bots turning up. You never knew the names. Where did they come from? Nobody knew. You had Dark of the Moon, the same. Like, literally, there were supposed to be almost hundreds of Decepticons come through. And how many did you actually properly see? I mean, they all turned into generic fodder. And then you've got to get into Age of Extinction and things like that. And it was even worse. Which was, it's the last night, wasn't it? Where they did that brilliant intro of like, the Decepticon crew. It was quite entertaining and snappy. You're like, oh, great. They're all dead in 5 minutes. Spoilers, but it's a crap film, so don't watch it.
We saved your life there.
It was like,
2
what
hours
the
there.
hell? Why introduce them like they're all great and then like fucking dead in like that?
It was hard to tell. Like when Jazz died, I was like, is that Jazz? Has Jazz died? Or was that Sideswipe? Sideswipe. It was really hard to tell which ones were dying in the film. Because
Jazz dying was a bit of a kick in the teeth, wasn't it? I mean, that's a slightly different conversation, but it was a bit, because like Jazz was cool. He always is cool, no matter what iteration he is, he's cool. And then he just gets ripped in half by Megatron. Again, spoilers, but for a film since 2007. So if you're a Transformers fan, you haven't seen it yet.
But would that really kill a robot for just getting ripped in half?
Well, this is it. How many of them went through far worse things and survived? He just got ripped in half.
Then Bumblebee pretty much got ripped in half, didn't he?
Well, his legs blown off, weren't they? And yeah, I think it was just plot contrivance. It was just, it was there because it was there.
Well, maybe he's still alive and he's still going, help,
he is.
Fix me.
Well, the running joke was Optimus Prime walking like, oh, Jazz. Oh, well, you're dead, but we made some new friends.
Jazz is like, no, I'm still here.
I'm still alive,
you're
Prime.
dead now. Into the light, Jazz, into the light.
That's it,
like,
Jazz.
The old man in the Search for the Holy Grail. He's dead. No, I'm alive. Shut up.
Has someone got a pillow?
We've got off on one ear. But in terms of the IDW, now I haven't been reading the most recent comics. I know I do kind of get the idea that, like, if you go back to the Lost Light and Modern Meets the Eye and Robots in Skies and stuff that followed came before it, there were a lot of the lesser bots that the writers kind of pulled into it to flesh out the cast and to have the story go in different ways. And that was, if you didn't know Transformers, it would be a bit of a, it's like a deep dive or whatever they call it, where you've got to go and find out about these. Whether that's the reason that people wouldn't be reading the new comics or they wouldn't be as popular, I just don't think they're as good. Is the short answer. And I think, unfortunately, you see a decline in interest in it. So maybe they're being forced to put characters in to try and sell the toys, because a lot of the characters now are drawn to look
Well, see,
much more
that's
similar
what
to the
Mick
toys, but
actually suggested there. And
yeah,
he
it
said,
could be the case.
is it because Hasbro's putting the pressure on the IDW writers to include the toys and the storylines? And I remember going to a talk, it was at a London Comic Con, where you had all these sort of IDW Transformer writers. And they actually said the one thing they didn't feel was pressure from Hasbro. You know, they could do what they want, but maybe they were told, but here's characters which you're free to have artistic leeway with. You could do whatever you want with them, and that's what maybe encouraged them to want to use these characters. Where with Optimus Prime, Soundwave, and Megatron, you can only go down one route, or you know, a route which is very much rigid. You got to stay in that box for that character. Where with someone like Crankcase or lesser known bots, you can virtually do anything, even create commando squads out of them, like the Wreckers did. Simon Forman's
You've got more freedom, haven't you, to take the story in different ways, and you're not restricted as much. I mean, if it was always Prime, Megatron, you know, Starscream, Bumblebee, if it's always the same ones, it would just get boring anyway. You kind of need to expand the cast of it. I don't know if that's really the reason. If they're going to, I mean, it hasn't been confirmed they're going to lose it, has it? There's a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just Hasbro feel they want to refresh it. You know, they want to go to a different company.
Sorry, so the complaint was there's too many characters. They're writing about too many characters because again, you look at every other, because Transformers are pretty much superheroes, right? And if you look at every other sort of superhero, sort of like genre,
But
like
usually what he
DC or
says in
Marvel.
the one comic book for, that's the thing. Usually superheroes have got their own independent worlds.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of threads. I think that was part of the discussion or the argument, was that there was too many threads going on. It was too hard for new readers to keep track of who characters were and what was going on with them and to care about them. And
I'll admit, when I read,
I've
got the hardbacks. I'm on phase 2, like book 5 or 6 at the moment, and I will admit it does jump back and forth. You know, if I haven't read it for a while, I'm not going, where the fuck am I? Because it's not as if there's a linear story. It will do like a chapter and then jump somewhere else and sometimes somewhere else in time as well. And like,
but isn't that like a film? Don't you think that's more like a film? Like if you watch certain films, like, you know, you're jumping between scenes. Even if you go, take Endgame, you know, you're jumping between, they're time traveling, they're jumping between different scenes and stuff like that. But there's a central thread to why they're doing it.
No, that's time travel. What you're talking about is fucking Memento. Like the guy has no
Memento. God, that was a great film, though. But let's not drag down this discussion about that.
That's what it's like. That's what it feels like. I'm watching Memento. So I'm going, what?
What was clever with the IDW comics that came earlier and the stories and the arcs that they had was that you had these arcs that seemed completely unrelated to each other that then all kind of came and meshed, and you realized there was a point to it all, and they all kind of came together well. That might well be the case with what IDW are doing now, but will they be given the time as they were before to actually finish that? Or Hasbro thinking now we're going to get somebody new? And maybe it's time to get somebody new.
I kind of hope they allow the IDW line to finish, because I think it took such a long time to start, and it is quite linear, and it's suffered from the fact is when they do want to go off on a tangent, they will launch a new comic book. So they'll have a Wreckers, like a mini-part series for the Wreckers, or they'll have their Galaxies, which focused on individual bots, you know, which expect people to read because they will refer to it in the main storyline. And I think some people can get lost there if they've not read the supporting comics. But I do think it started, by issue 36, it's really picked up pace now and it's going in a direction. So it'd be a pity not to see it end. You know, not to have that story complete, because I think it deserves to see at least the story end. I think it's been a lot of work and a lot of world building, universe building in there to go on, which is all to allow
behind the scenes, do we? We don't know like what the terms of the deal between IDW and Transformers is. We don't know, like you said, IDW at that talk said they don't put pressure on us for the characters and the toys and everything. Well, what if Hasbro kind of want to, because they've got these new lines coming out and they want to push things a certain way? We kind of don't know that part of it, which is away from the writing. And regardless of that, you know, the writing might be considered by Hasbro to be fine. Whether it is by us is a different matter.
Wouldn't it be worse for us since they're pushing a multiverse line? So if you're coming out with a comic with a multiverse Transformers line,
well, maybe we don't know what the discussions are and what IDW are saying. Are IDW saying, well, we kind of think that it should go this way, and Hasbro saying, well, we want it to go that way?
You mentioned the wreckers. I mean, you could
think Paul's
compare.
getting bored.
You could compare.
He's like a small child.
I thought there was a conversation about girls being fingered.
You could compare Last Stand of the Wreckers to a Bayverse movie like Revenge of the Fallen or whatever. Because let's face it, in that comic book, you saw characters like Road Storm or the Spark Twins, and you hadn't really seen them before that episode, and they die straight away. They go, "Oh, you're really cool at this. Yeah, that's pretty cool." Dead.
I do think whatever Transformers do go, what direction they go on, they probably should ignore the advice of Twitter and social media because these guys don't know what they were talking. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just ignores all, and focus
Ignore
on
the fandom and do your own stuff.
No, they're not the fandom. They're just people with big voices who think they're the fandom. They're not. They're like a little. I mean, Jesus, most of them attack Simon Foreman. What the fuck is that about? I just don't get that. I know the reasons behind it, but no, I still don't get it. You're mental. Simon Foreman deserves a lot of respect for the world building he does, and and he can still offer a lot to Transformers. But yes, new writers and there's people like Nick Roach who are obviously very talented, and what's his name? Is James or something, or forgotten his name? The guy
James
who
Roberts?
James Roberts. He's won awards. There's obviously a lot of talented people out there, and I think sometimes it's about letting them off the reins, not forcing them to go down some route because this is what you want to see. Even indirectly, we might, suggest things. But just let them do what they want and see what happens.
Do James Roberts and Nick Roach still actually write for IDW? Because I mean, they were part of some of the most successful and popular comic books lines and stories that we've had. But I didn't think that they were still necessarily that involved.
New Simon Foreman's new. There's got to be new talent coming out there, and we've got to find a way of.
It needs to be. I think it needs to be fans, though, doesn't it? Because I think that's what we've seen from people like Nick Roach and James Roberts is that they're people who actually cared, and so, had an idea of characters.
Yeah, but I think there's a thing about fans, which when we think about is like Mark, from Hasbro, when engineering, and they love those toys. Then there's the fans who have got, big voices, or YouTube shows like ourselves and just talk a lot. And,
the important people.
But where I think there's a lot to be said for the quiet person, the quiet fan who genuinely loves the thing and just wants
definitely.
to tell a story.
You don't have to be the loudest, but if you can write and you're a fan of Transformers. That's what we need. All of you people in the chat who can write and are fans of Transformers. Get some fan fiction done, but nothing sexual.
I think we all agreed it's not.
Oh no, sexual. That's really cool.
No, nothing sexual with Alexis and several male Decepticons. Anyway, don't. Okay, certainly don't put it up on Facebook. The internet.
I think you mean dear.
I know everybody's into the IDW chat here. It was hugely popular. It is hugely popular. Is it still as popular though?
I think for me, the IDW design was the best design of Transformers since the G1. So I've not seen them be redesigned better than that. They were fantastic designs.
Don't you think it's mad when you look at I can only talk about the run before the current run. If you actually look at how they took so many different comic books and storylines, and then they were all tied before they even started. They obviously had it all planned out where it was going to go. I'm not going to give any spoilers.
It's been 10 fucking years, Alexis.
Yeah, I know.
I've just ordered
the
last few books in Phase 2. I've just ordered the last few books in Phase 2. They are arriving in the next few days. I will catch up on it.
I know, but the point, Alexis, I'm not giving away spoilers. The point is, if you look at the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they had everything was a plan. They knew, right, this is where we're going to go. This is going to be the Phase 1, Phase 2, if it goes well. And obviously, they might have had a plan to just cut it off and say, nah, it's shit, stop. We're not putting any more money into this. But because it was successful, it was allowed to run. And you just felt like it from the start, from way back before, they did Iron Man, they got a group of writers in a room and they said, right, how could this go? Where will this go? What will happen to this character, that character, the other character? And a whole route planned out. And I felt that way about IDW before, that none of it felt like it was made up and it was like shit. When I say it's all made up, but you know what I mean? It wasn't like suddenly, oh crap, we need to write something about this character. How should we do that? It all felt like there was a plan there and that people had really thought about it. is it the same now, or does it feel a bit more contrived and less kind of natural? Does it flow as well? See, I don't read the current comics, so Jamie, you're pretty much the only person I can lean on for a comment on that.
I think after issue 25, if you made it to issue 25 and you still had a pulse, that was good. And then
in this day and age,
yeah, 25, it started to take off. It definitely feels like it has a direction.
Sounds like a good challenge, man. Come in.
First 25 episodes.
I'm all in.
But it definitely feels like it's got direction and has a plan. I enjoyed the galaxies. I enjoyed the stories where they could branch out away from the main story, because the main story was just dragging for so long over the same old ground. You know, I'd rather they started off fighting like they're doing now in issue 26 and did the rest with flashbacks. And I think the reader could understand it. I think the trouble is with writing, we're trying to get new people in. Sometimes you want to be as simple as possible. You don't want to make storylines too complicated. You know, you want to make it easy, like Boba Fett and, you know, the Mandalorian. Nice, simple, consecutive story, one episode after other, where the characters come in to support the main character, not to take away from him, not to detract and have those.
Do you think that's what they did with the when they? So this is phase. Is this phase 3 then of the IDW? Do you think?
I don't know about this phase stuff. It seems to be very much like when people say themes to sound smarter than they are when they talk about movies and stuff like that. I just think it's a new reimagining.
Is this? Do you think they've? But my question, sorry, is do you think they've done it this way to allow people who aren't part of the genre to just be eased in and then get to a certain level of?
Well, I think you and Andy were talking about it better than me, and he said, how do you get these new people in the first place? I mean, it's very well to say this is why we've done it, to ease them in, but how are you going to attract them? They're not just going to randomly walk past a comic shop and fall into a comic of Transformers and go, oh, I'll give this a try. It's about how do you get these new people in? You know, is it
you draw them in through some of the other media, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, you draw them through other things, and then they see a Transformers comic book and think, you know, and anything from like the cover, you know, I looked at covers of comic books and thought that actually looked quite interesting. You've got to try and there's got to be something to grab your attention and to make you interested and make you. And then once you read it, you want to be drawn into a story very quickly. It's like anything, any story that you read, you want to be grabbed pretty quickly, because if you can make it through the first chapter of a book, you'll usually finish the book.
Yeah.
If you can make it through the first
7-minute rule, don't they? 7-minute rule.
You know, you've got to be into it. So some of the best children's books that I've read, even as an adult, as a teacher, when you know, you kind of have to know what's going on in them, because if you're recommending these books to kids to read in your class or whatever, you know, you want books that are going to grab the kids' attention, that are going to make them think from pretty much the first page that they want to read more and they want to find out more.
I mean, Bubble Jumper says our comics dying out is a general rule, and I would say definitely not. Well, I would say physical comics may be dying out. I think digital web comics, digital webtoons are growing bigger and bigger. And I think they don't have the same restrictions and have to have an umbrella license to publish them.
It's the printed word, the actual physical copies of comic books. I think the sales have dropped off because the digital one's gone up, you know, gone through the roof. But that's just the nature of where we are, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for that contribution. Paul's been sat there for the last 20 minutes messing about with other stuff. Yeah. Good point. Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, I agree.
Some comments about it as well. Cool. Right, do you want to talk about anything more about that?
That's it. If I want to talk about anything, can I go home now?
I could spend all night with you. It's fine.
Not chatting about this, though.
Do you want to talk about something else?
Well, Alexis,
anyway, are you going to have a nice weekend? Anybody doing anything nice over the weekend? Alexis, are you going to be able to do anything? How's Sam, by the way?
I'm breaking open geodes with my son tomorrow while the other one's at a party, and then on Sunday they're taking their two boys are taking part in a swim marathon for the school to raise money for the PTA. So
well, I think you shared something about that, didn't you, on Facebook?
What does PTA stand for?
Parent-teacher association, isn't it?
That's it.
I couldn't tell if you were just. I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic there, Jamie.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking, why would you want? Well.
I think it's for
Cool.
PTA.
Right.
They're wonderful
so-
parents who like to join
For the school.
in and help
Raising money for the
school,
school.
and not
Raising money for the
busybodies
school.
at all.
Raising money for the school. Raising money for the school.
We've got videos playing in a moment. Before we do, just to
we?
say that if you enjoy Transformers, which I think you do if you watch this show, not sure why else you would watch it. I guess we are quite funny.
Sex appeal, obviously.
There is a Transformers convention coming up in May, I want to say. Around
May the 14th. May the 14th.
I want to say.
May the 14th.
I haven't researched this.
May the
May the
14th
14th.
in Birmingham, right?
All
In
four of
Birmingham?
us will be there in Birmingham at the Apollo Hotel. Tickets are on sale. Just join TF UK, the Facebook group, if you haven't already joined it, to buy your ticket there. Oh, so many good people there. So Simon Furman's going to be there. There's going to be Bobby Skullface dialing in from America for a live discussion. Thew will be there. And for some reason, we will be there as well.
We will.
So
We
just
will.
go to Facebook and feel
We're
free
doing
to
the full
add me as a
Monty
friend.
for those who are interested.
No.
So
We're going
if
to do
you-
lip sync
we'll see how
battle.
small Paul's hands
Lip
really
sync-
are.
Lip sync battle.
We'll do a handoff.
Well,
There's
what now? Not on stage, surely. Oh wait, sorry, I may have misunderstood.
That's it. Paul is going to hand off everyone who goes on that stage.
If
I'll
you
do
come
it.
up to me,
I
he
will
will hand
fucking
you
do
off
it.
there and then.
There you
I
go.
will wank you all off. Right, so
What? No, that's not what I meant.
I thought that's what you meant. Sorry. Lot of jazz talk tonight. So
Love the
jazzy jazz.
There is-
He's in a trance, a jazz trance. Every day he does this.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
Who
look at
doesn't?
that.
Who doesn't go into a jazz trance?
I've broken the video.
Who doesn't love jazz, man?
No, it's not going to work.
What are you trying to do?
Cool.
You're
Well,
not-
if you enjoy that level of professionalism, you will love TFCon.
Benjamin Zicker, lip sync
Prime though.
battle.
Prime versus Prime won't be there, unfortunately.
We've got to mimic
So-
our own of every
You might. We may have him on as a special guest. Who knows? We might
You
pull
never
some
know.
strings.
Well, you
Yeah,
have
and
some
we'll-
big strings.
And we'll be in the bar as well. So
Oh, little hands.
It'd be funny if he does show and he has like an entourage. That would be good.
Ben's
Cool.
It'd be
Collectibles will
great
be
if he
there
comes
as well.
incognito with like
I
fake
thought
glasses.
Ben
and
was
a-
there as well.
Megan Fox. Yep, she'll be there.
If you haven't
That I'm
seen it
not lying
yet,
about Megan Fox.
check out Paul's Megan Fox interview. Paul has met Megan Fox.
Stop bumming that off. If you go to TF UK on Facebook, that'd be great. If you head to Transformers the Show on Facebook, we're there, slightly more intimate. There's TF Show UK on Twitter. What's the
We share
Instagram,
photos
Jamie?
you wouldn't dare show for.
Yeah, we do. They're really rude.
All the stuff that can't go on Twitter.
TF Show UK on Twitter, where you'll find a lot of the news posted on our Twitter site.
What's the Instagram, Alexis?
Transformers the show.
Cool.
Where you will find not much news posted on there.
The bits I care about.
Hey, you're
Basically
busy.
just like-
You're very, very busy. And we appreciate you coming on the show. Good night. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.